Monday, November 6th, advanced class, and we're going to take a look at a couple different things. Let's see, Camp to Camp some money, read your book report book, and that's about it. From there we get into these things, haikus. We're just going to touch on them briefly because we're going to keep bringing them up because I like haiku because they're fun, and we're going to do a belt work about them tomorrow. If you've never seen haiku before, you're in luck. I get to help educate you about them. If you have seen haiku before, you're in luck. You get to do one of your favorite things all over again. What a happy day. Sure, Shryleka, I appreciate you volunteering. Shryleka is going to read to us about haiku so we can make sure we understand how they work, and then from there we'll get farther into it. All right, haiku.
A haiku is a three-line poem of Japanese origin, containing 17 syllables. There are 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line, and 5 syllables in the third line. Such a poem must communicate meaning through very few words and should only have one idea or topic per haiku. The subject matter of a haiku is usually drawn from nature.
Well done. All of this information is also on your handout from the website, so when you downloaded it, you have all of this. We're just not going to bother looking at it right now. Haiku are fun because they have to follow a set structure, which makes them nice and easy-ish. How many lines is every haiku?
3.
Wow, that was tougher than I thought it was going to be. 3. And then you're going to learn how to count syllables. Once again, syllables are the parts that break up words when you figure it out. There's a couple different ways to count syllables. When you first begin your syllable counting, you're going to do the drop jaw method. Drop jaw method is where you put your hand beneath your jaw, and every time your mouth comes down, that's a syllable. So if you're trying to figure out how many syllables in a word, like monkey brains, you'd go, monkey brains, 3. And so you can just count it every time the chin comes down. That's one way. Eventually, you're going to move up from jaw drop, and you're going to move to clapping monkey. And then clapping monkey is, as you go through that, you get to go, how many syllables are in monkey brain? And you'll count them that way. And then when you eventually move up from clapping monkey, you're going to eventually get to where you can just use your fingers as you go through and do it. And you can say, I know how many are in there now. Go me. And you can count them that way. You'll work your way up as we do it. Our first line of every haiku has how many syllables?
5.
Second line?
7.
Third line?
5.
A total of?
17.
Oh my God. That was scary. It should have been 17. Oh, hashtag math skills. And there's only 2 other things to hit. 1, how many different images or ideas should be in a haiku?
1.
It's not very long. Don't jump around in your haiku. Focus on one thing. And what should that image or idea come from?
Nature.
We're going to take a look at a couple example haiku. The first one says, little piggies are rolling around in the mud. I hear the oinking. So you go, little piggies are rolling around in the mud. I hear the oinking. 5, 7, 5. Does it have one subject? What is our one subject?
Pigs.
And pigs come from nature because they're delicious.
Piggies.
Nailed it, just like that. Second stanza is a bit more fancy. I've tried to throw in a famous one. Broken and broken, again on the sea, the moon so easily mends.
Yeah, that was.
And so that one's a bit fancier. Broken and broken, again on the sea, the moon so easily mends.
Oh, what does it mean by the moon mends? The moon's what? Was
This
the moon
one-
broken?
Yeah,
Talking about the faces of the moon.
No, but it's child. This one's dealing with being at the beach at nighttime, and you watch the moon reflecting off the ocean, and the waves come in, and the reflection breaks apart when the wave comes in, because it's all ripply, and then when it goes back out and gets still, it makes the moon form again, a new wave comes in, and
So
the
it
wave goes.
easily
And so that's why they're talking about the fact that the moon waves, stuff like that. And the last one, squirrels are in the trees. I can hear their chattering. I dodge the acorns. Yes, that one's also a famous one by some genius poet. And so that gives you an idea of real haiku. So now we're going to test your haiku recognition skills. I have 3 broken haiku, and we're going to see if you can figure out our broken haiku. Rocks are really hard. They are used to hold down grass. Some are just brown.
Oh!
I know. Genius. Morgan
The last line has 4 syllables instead of 5.
is correct. So how could we fix that one if we were trying to make it into an actual haiku-y? Twitch.
Say some rocks are just brown.
Some rocks are just, that would work. Nicely done. Olivia.
Like only instead of just.
Some are only red. That would work too. Well done. Creative interpretation. Benel.
Say it in an Italian accent and put an A at the end of some.
Some just brown. No, that's like 8 syllables. But you can't be partly Italian. You gotta go full Italian and admit. I like where you're trying. Morgan.
You could say some of them are brown.
Some of them are nice. So done also. Go you guys. How about this one? The dogs are jumping. Look, a tree is over there. I just saw a fish.
A fish.
Gavin.
It doesn't have one idea.
Nicely done. It kind of, much like dogs, jumps around all over the place. So you have to focus on just one topic. Mr. Brogan, if you're all things outdoors, good job. That needs more of a focus than that. And cell phones are so cool. I love texting all my friends. Read my words, people! Jessup.
It's not about nature.
It is not about nature, which leads me to what we're going to end up doing partly tomorrow is introducing you to something called insult haiku. And the way insult haiku work is that we're going to go away from the naturey bit of haiku and focus more on the just writing of them, and you're going to have to practice attacking other people with your haiku. And so I practice quite a bit, and the kid who is talking, you've just lost so many points. Detention time soon. And so it gives you an idea. Mr. Broviak, that could be anybody. It could. And so it gives you an idea of something along those lines. That's what I'm going to have you guys focus more on. Then, by the way, do you guys know what the plural of haiku is?
Haiku.
Good job. Just like
I was
fish
gonna say haiku.
and moose and people. That's a Monday.
Wait, what is
Wait,
What
is
is
Monday?
the plural of the word
Says Monday.
people?
Pupils.
2 words.
Plural.
Wait,
It is not
people is
peoples.
a plural
It's right
of
person.
something else. It's a human.
Now let's look at something
What
creepy.
people is
I wish I had a picture of one of you guys up there. That would be a great transition. It's a poem called The Spider. And so we're going to go back to that fun bit of just going through a poem, finding similes and metaphors, breaking it down, because again, although we have a Socratic poem, or a Socratic quiz coming up on Friday, you're going to have to be able to read a poem again on your own and try to figure it out. This one's going to be a little bit tougher, and it's going to involve you going through and finding similes and metaphors and learnificating and things like that. So this is not the full poem. It's like 6 or 8 stanzas, but we're going to break it down into bit by bit so we don't overwhelm you and cause you to pass out. I apologize. I was going to hopefully try and get to this poem while we still had all my Halloween decorations up, but it didn't work. But that'd be great, like to point to like a giant spider right above you, but now you'll just have to use your imagination for the spiders that are. Alright. Much like we have our poems that are full of similes and metaphors, they're not there now. I'm not sure where I can almost see it. No, they're gone.
Wait, when did you take them down?
I did. They're still there. Just get a little closer. You actually looked up. With 6 small diamonds for his eyes, he walks upon the summer skies, drawing from his silken blouse the lacework of his dwelling house. He lays his staircase as he goes under his 8 thoughtful toes, and grows with the concentric flower of his shadowless thin bower. First off, similes and metaphors, we're going to... Hollyhock! Thanks for volunteering. Our very first simile and or metaphor that you can find in there that we can start breaking down.
Wait, what do you mean?
In this poem, we're going to look for a simile or a metaphor.
Okay.
And we're going to try and figure out what...
Okay.
Okay.
With 6 small diamonds for his eyes.
Nailed it. Is that a simile or metaphor?
That's a metaphor.
Nicely done. Comparing what 2 things?
Diamonds and eyes.
Nicely done. Now my question is, why are we comparing spider eyes to diamonds? It is not because they're valuable and girls like you to put them on rings and give them to them. If you find a girl who wants a ring with spider eyes on them, you might want to renegotiate that relationship.
Run away fast.
You might know her better than me. Bianca,
The eyes are shiny.
not bad. I'm not sure it's... it could be. Maybe shiny. That's not where I was going, but why not? I'm not sure how often I get close and stare into a spider's eyes, but... Shrileka?
They both have, spider has like multiple eyes. But the diamond looks like it has like lots of sides.
That's where I think they were going with it also, is that whole multiple being able to look at different direction thing, or is that just flies? I don't
That's flies. Flies have like
Flies.
gleet, and then there's like
Yeah.
billions of villains of eyes. But spiders have like, thank you, human eyes, and then they have like, there's a lot of them.
know. Okay. And then shiny, and the fact that there's a lot of them, like diamonds, there's a lot of.
Barely.
I didn't write this poem. Ooh, when it says he walks upon the summer skies, not Gesundheit, a full metaphor, but spiders can't walk on the sky. If they could, they'd make it so much more creepy if spiders could fly. We would all just give up and die.
They can basically fly.
But what does it mean, or what is it referring to when it says they can walk upon the summer skies?
Ow.
T-dubs.
When like baby spiders, they fly on their webs and things, and they like break off, and then.
You're thinking of Charlotte's Web.
No, that actually happens.
No,
I know. I didn't know if that was like the reference you were going for. It's like when all the babies in Charlotte's Web take off and fly all around, stuff like that. Not quite what they're going with on this one, but I like your reference to Charlotte's Web. Well done. I wasn't making it. It's okay. Yeah. Strawn.
I think what it means is that when the spider's on its web and it's like,
What?
it's like it's referencing it to like walking on skies
Why?
because it can.
Getting closer. Judy?
I think that it's because like the web is just really high up somewhere.
Getting closer. You gotta just combine them. You're like, have you seen a spider web
Yeah.
from a distance? Can you see it easily from a distance?
No.
Because that's when you walk into it with your face. You're like, ah,
That's what
And
I
you do
was
this-
trying to say.
But you didn't say it. That's why I was trying to get you to say also. And so it's the idea of when you see the spider on the web, that it just looks like they're just hanging up there in the sky. And they just sort of like walk across the web because
They're
you
just
can't see the
chilling.
web. So that's what they were trying to get you to go with. We just weren't going there. Zoe.
Also, like Spider-Man, they're like, "Vrr," and then they like swing.
Except Spider-Man don't Except Spider
Yes.
don't have hands up there.
We're going to get to that in a moment too. Nor does the Spider-Man go Verre. That might be slightly different. You know what you're thinking of.
But then they like attach to like a tree, and then he's like, "Vroom, vroom."
You guys know what a blouse is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. It's a shirt
Oh, ladies
specifically
wear.
more for a girly shirt that you don't tuck in. It looks all flowy and fancy and stuff like that. I was looking for blousey type things in here, but y'all seem to be more t-shirty people. Maybe Morgan's is somewhat blousey is the closest we're going to get. We just gonna try and pretend. That's our next metaphor. Drawing from his silken blouse. Spiders don't wear clothing because it's hard to get their sizes and all the armholes keep getting confused. So what is it referring to when it says drawing from his silken blouse? Hang on. We did the blouse. The lacework of his dwelling house. Before we get there, we have to define another word.
Superman.
Never mind. We'll define our word in a moment. I guess I kind of made that one a bit more obvious. Brady.
So, what he's drawing in his blouse is the lacework of his house because his house is made out of the web, and he's pulling the web from himself.
There you go. And so the fact that his shirt looks like he's pulling a string from it, and that's where he makes his house.
His shirt is fabulous.
It is fabulous. And then the word lacework. You guys know what lacework is?
Yes.
Those of you who have gone over to Grandma's house and she has the doilies that are everywhere. That would be the little lacework, you know, like on the couches.
My grandma has so many.
I know. As soon as you say lacework, you're like, that's Grandmama. I know. We all know. Grandmama.
You can't do it anymore.
Once again, spiders don't have a lot of grandmamas. So what is the lacework we're referring to with our spider?
Spider web.
There you go. Drawing from his silken blouse, the lacework of his dwelling house turns into that.
Oh, that's so cute.
Stanza 2. We have more similes and or metaphors. Urge. What's our next one?
He lays his staircase as he goes.
Nicely done. He lays his staircase at comparing what two things?
Well, it's like inferencing.
He's dead.
You're fine. Go ahead. Focus.
Ah.
That's why I was really proud of your poem tonight, because it's kind of tough. Because only half of it's in the metaphor, and the other half is in our
He's like inferencing his web and it close to a staircase.
Nicely done. Well done. Comparing. So you guys are almost just like sixth period. Comparing the staircase to the. Oh, no, I thought I had a picture for that one. I was wrong. I failed myself. the staircase. Ooh, why are we comparing the web to a staircase, Vic?
Because
Let's back up. So, Vic, what is it we do on staircases?
walk
Getting close. Which direction?
up,
And then sometimes.
down.
Good job. And what is it the spider does with his web?
He goes up and down.
Nice. So, are we comparing his web to a staircase?
Because you can go up and down.
Nailed it. Well done on that. See, I had made a mistake there. And then I went apparently to this word. Concentric. Do you guys know what concentric means?
No, it's a big word.
It is. Nailed that part. Twitch.
Doesn't it mean colorful?
It does not. But you seem confident, so well done on that part. Shrileka.
You got this.
Trying to do with confidence, okay?
I like it.
She goes.
I mean, she was completely wrong, but confident. So I mean, you got to give her credit for there.
It's a flower that is in the middle of all of nature.
Proud of you. That was
Yeah,
completely wrong,
Shrileka.
but you were very confident. That's what we're getting towards. I like it.
That did
Sebastian?
It has like a center.
It does have a center.
Spreads out.
Not bad. And so it's where you have a circle, and then a circle around that circle, and then a circle around that circle. There's even a store, some of you guys go shopping at, that uses it as this. Nicely done. And so those would be concentric circles, sometimes known as flowers, that are very colorful in nature. No, even a little bit. But here we're talking about his staircase grows like a concentric flower. Why are we comparing his to a flat Bianca?
Because his web is going out in a circly pattern.
Nicely done. Ooh. To make our connection here of a shadowless thin bower. I'm assuming you don't know what a bower is.
I do.
It's the thing in euchre.
Well, spelled differently, but you are correct. They do use that word.
Yep.
D-dubs.
Isn't it like a house?
Right and left.
It is a house.
Yes!
I knew what it
So
was.
not just like a house, it is one. And so they're saying his staircase grows like a flower into a shadowless thin bower, because what is his bower?
House.
Nicely done. Does it cast a shadow? Good teamwork there. Does not cast. Whew. That's 2 stanzas down. Stanza 3! I told you there's 8.
Oh, Lord. All of them?
Well, no. The rest of it becomes homework. You have to do it on your own. I'm just trying to show you guys to get started at some point. I know, who would have thought and have faith in you guys learning on your own, so I was trying to help you. His back legs are a pair of hands. They can spindle out the strands of the thread that is so small. It stops the sunlight, not at all. You're right, there is other simile and or metaphor in this one. And where would it be? Gavin, go for it. I'm proud of you. Way to volunteer.
His back legs are a pair of feet.
Simile or metaphor?
Metaphor.
Comparing what 2 things?
His legs and hands.
Why are we comparing his legs to hands? It is a bit something that he does with his legs that other people would do with hands. Works for me. The idea of making things. Specifically, with the making Lily, what is it that our spider makes with his backhand leg things? Nicely. It just got real creepy. I know. That's not a real picture of a spider. Do you guys know what the word spindle means? Wow, that was not a word I expected you guys to be so confident about. I'm kind of impressed. Urge?
They can like spindle, which means like kind of like with their web, they can like build, kind of like build stuff with it. Like it's kind of close to like sewing and stuff.
There you go.
No,
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Spindle
He's the one
is
that passed
the
out.
little.
Yeah,
No,
it's
like
Gracious. On sewing, it comes from thread, and you don't keep your thread in a ball. You keep it on a spindle. Because we had what word come? Spin. I'm with you. I understand how words work.
But yours doesn't look right.
So that's a spindle. Good job. We all know how words come together. spindle comes from spin. Now, there's like 12 more stanzas, but this gives you an idea. Take a look at them. I don't know, numbers, don't teach math. Tomorrow, we're moving on to a different poem about a glove and lions, and we'll get a chance to go.
If we do that,
Take off! No, it's just on the quiz.